I was cruising through Ollie's a few days ago. It's kind of a big discount store, and I ran across this neat little book. It's only for $5 for Dungeons and Dragons, and it's the Yearbook 2024. But what was really weird about it was when I went through and checked out the overall splash page. It talks about, or actually shows, that it was first published in Great Britain in 2023. So did a little bit of research. And GameMasters here, by the way. And yeah, the setup here is a little bit different than what I normally would do, just because I'm trying to do a top-down show of this particular book. But in my research, I found that I found two possible publication dates. One of them was for October 18th of 2023, and the other was slated at September 28th, 2023, even though it's the 2024 yearbook. So a little more research on it. And as we flip through this book, you'll note that the contents within, it actually appears to be all of the stuff that came out in 2023, a little bit that came out in 2024. So that said, let's take a look and see. This was published by HarperCollins, by the way. And it's not an official Dungeons and Dragons book. It is an Expanse published book. You'll note that it's UK money, not United States money. So this was originally published in Great Britain. However, Ollie's does have it listed for $5 US, and that's where I found it was in the United States. So you've got the table of contents, and it goes over a lot of really cool information. The book itself is only about 120 pages. It's got a slight introduction, and I'm not going to do a complete page-for-page turn of this, but I want to highlight a few of the things that you can expect to find inside. You've got a quick start guide on how to actually start playing Dungeons and Dragons. Find your people. Find a group of people that you want to play with. Pick a dungeon master, roll up your character, and then choose the campaign, have a session 0, explore through a session 1, and then after a check-in, after any game, it's important to check in. Did everyone have fun? Was there anything that people particularly loved or things that they'd rather not do again? Communication is the key. Okay, cool. I don't necessarily agree with this exact order, but I mean, it kind of makes sense, I guess. I'd rather see session 0 happen before rolling your character. But actually, when we do session 0, it's more rolling the character is session 0. But I digress. You get to see who Vecna and Cass is. Even though, I guess, let's see, Vecna and Cass, the book that... oh, what was it? It's already escaped my mind. And I did a fix for the damn thing. What was it called? Vecna's Eve of Ruin. Thank you. I knew somebody out there would know that. The Vecna Eve of Ruin book came out in late 2024. And like I said, I mean, I think that this book was published in 2023. So that's what's really weird about the timing of it. Maybe they had an inside scoop. I don't know. But you get a little bit more information about Cass, a brief history of D&D. It was kind of neat. Character creation, it kind of goes into... and again, keep in mind, this was for the older version of D&D, not the new 5.5 version. So the character sheet is laid out a little bit different than how it used to be, or than how it is now. But you go through and you pick your player name, your class, your race, inspiration. You just do all this neat stuff. You pick your alignment. You know, you guys know the drill. I mean, you all have played the game, so you know what I'm talking about here. But this is just a neat little basics of it. Has a basic gameplay guide. It's got this neat little puzzle here if you want to, you know, try to solve the maze. Talks a little bit about the undead, ghouls, vampires, liches, demi-liches. I don't see anything about zombies, so that's a little disappointing because, hey, they are the masters of the undead. Then it goes into a little bit about a couple of other creators that are in the D&D sphere. More of those. playing in alternative settings. It talks about, you know, if you want to do some sci-fi stuff, steampunk, and I have a cat screaming at me if y'all hear it. If you want to play in the real world, a dark noir, gothic settings, the depth of hell, that's always fun. One that I did find talks a little bit about illithids, checking out Gen Con, different conventions, Dragon Con, PAX, Dragon Meet, talks about the deck of many things. This I thought was kind of nifty. I liked the map, and I've got a friend that, Seraphis by the way, that gave me some real good information about this particular spread. It looks like the map itself may have come directly from the 3.5. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% in the know of Eberron, so I'm going to take his word for it. But he did point out after reading some of these things that there were elements that didn't quite match up with what Eberron actually is. So take this with a grain of salt. There's also, if you want to play a tank, monk, paladin, barbarian, yeah, I mean, those are all tanks. Talks a little bit about Tasha, heroes and villains, hacking combat, if you want to paint a word picture. Combat isn't all about the mechanics, including rich descriptions of attacks and damage will add flavor to your game and help set a tone. Well, I mean, that's cool. And I like this. I mean, it's kind of a neat little, like I said, a basic little rundown of a book, but it's got some really cool little pieces in it, nuggets that are kind of cool. You've got, so did y'all catch that? A Sudoku puzzle. Using the weapons and spell symbols, complete these tricky Sudoku to flex your puzzle skills. Solve level 1, turn over the poster pages, and try your hand at level 2. And I'm assuming these are the poster pages of the full page artwork. And then yep, there it is. There's level 2. Magic items, again, just some neat little things. Magic items that are specific for bards, specific for monks, for clerics, good all-around stuff. Bag of holding, that's always awesome. And then mapping the multiverse of the Sword Coast. You've got a neat puzzle for cryptograms. And it has answers to all of the puzzles in the back of the book, too, by the way. Talks a little bit about the Shadow of the Dragon Queen from Dragonlance. Novels, if you want to read some of the novels. Talks a little bit about the Heroes Feast book, the official D&D cookbook that came out. If you want to create a big bad guy, doesn't tell you any specifics on how to do it, just kind of glosses over a little bit. Did that just seem like a super abrupt stop or cut in the video? Yeah, I apologize for that. Realized I was kind of just going page by page by page, and I really didn't want to do that. Plus, we kind of entered in a little bit there to the answers to some of those puzzles, and I really don't want to spoil that for everybody. So anyway, again, I found this at Ollie's. $5, $5 US. Ollie's is, again, a discount store all over the place. Not endorsed by them. I just found the book, thought it was neat, and wanted to grab a copy because, hey, $5, well, that's easy enough. And it's got enough entertainment in it to for me to warrant, you know, small little $5 expenditure. Anyway, as I was saying at the top of the video, it appears that this book came out in 2023, and either September or October of 2023. So I guess I'm about a year late in getting it. But again, remember that it was published in Great Britain. So getting to the United States was likely, you either had to order it direct, which I wouldn't have known about, which is probably why Ollie's has a whole bunch of them now. When I went in, they probably had 40, 50 copies of it. So that was just at my one little location. So I'm sure other locations have them, you know, all over the United States. What I thought was kind of neat about it too is that the fact that it did come out in 2023, that it had a lot of information that wouldn't pop up until later in 2024. So, you know, that's kind of a neat thing. So it almost kind of makes me want to go out and see a little bit later this year if I can find the, you know, maybe September or October of this year of 2025, see if I can find the Yearbook 2025 and, I don't know, see what sneaky information we may learn about things to come yet in that year. Anyway, that is the 2024 Dungeons & Dragons Yearbook. Wanted to show everybody, thought it was kind of neat. If you find a copy, let me know what your favorite part is down in the comments. And until next our paths cross, that is just some amazing artwork.